I actually hit a hotel building. Yes, the hotel. I hit it. This is something I did when I was about, 21. If you stay until the end, you will be able to hear exactly how the entire court case played out, because obviously this is a crime. Oh, okay. Before we jump into the video, I did just want to thank Truthfinder for sponsoring this portion. It is this amazing resource to give you all things background history on anybody. It doesn't matter who you're looking up, they got you covered. If it comes to like a date and you're a little nervous, he's being a little sketchy with you, did he come at you with a nickname, but then you found his first and last name some way, take that and put it in the Truthfinder. It is an amazing resource to understand more about someone's background. And beyond that, they give you insight into where the predators and sex offenders are in your area, so you know not to go there, not to be in that vicinity. So I was 21 and a hotel secretary. I was making $11.75 an hour, working 9 hours a day. So as you all can imagine, I was broke. I rented an apartment, a 1-bedroom, because I was super antisocial. I was always worried about my rent. Then one day I got hungry and I just said, you know what? F it. I'm just going to use money for food and not rent. This choice caused this huge event, guys. So I decided not to pay my rent for a month, and then I took it to the next level and decided not to pay my car payment for a month. So I was just buying clothes and eating food and, being normal and you just feeling stable, which was stupid, very dumb. I should have kept struggling and starving. So yeah, I let this go on for 4 months because I knew I had a tax refund on the way. So I was like, I'm going to just keep eating food until the tax refund, and I should have starved until the tax refund. So just from there, the night before my tax refund, I stayed late at work, and when I got home, I could not unlock my door. Instant panic, even though I knew I hadn't paid my rent in 4 months, so this shouldn't be a surprise, but I was so panicked, and they changed the locks on me. So that's what happens when you get evicted. If you're not there, they're going to change the locks. So I wasn't there, and it was the most degrading and violating thing they could do because I had nothing to wear, and I could have left valuables in there, which I guess they assumed if you can't pay your rent, you don't have any valuables. I couldn't access my money that night when I needed to get a hotel room, so I had to call my mom. And then she got me the room and asked me to come live with her. And I was like, oh, no, a huge trauma bond, horrible person, never want to live with you. But from there, I have all this pride, and I began burning through my tax refund. I got out of that hotel, kept going to hotel room, trying to find apartment, but nobody would approve me because I had an eviction. And just from there, I got into a depressed state, and I found out from my college friends that if you drink, you should smoke a black and mild to sort of elevate the trip. But it's like, never do that. Don't listen to people at college. So it was crazy. The night before I was able to pick up my items, I took it to the next level. And just as a backstory on that, after you get evicted and they lock you out, they allow you to go get your items on a set date. So I had been dreading that date because I would have to put my stuff in the storage and face the fact that I was a broke bee. So the day before, I got super drunk. I drank a bottle of wine at the hotel from the gift shop, and then I went to the hotel bar and I got a margarita with a double shot of tequila. Crazy girl. And then to top it off, I want to go get that black and mild like they told me. So I got in my car. Disclaimer, we do not condone drinking and driving. This is just what happened to me when I was 21. So I did that. After listening to loud music, I got back into the car and I was smoking the black, and then this is where it all gets foggy. So I remember driving so fast, but I saw my right turn. I didn't want to miss it. So I slammed on the brakes. And when you're drunk, you hit things a bit harder, and that's exactly what I did. So as I'm slamming the brakes, my car spins out of control, and it just spun right into the corner of a hotel building. So I hit the corner of a Hampton Inn, the concrete of the hotel. I hit it so hard that it did not harm the concrete, obviously, but I just damaged the heck out of the front grill of my car. And I knew if somebody came out there, they were going to lock me up. So I backed out and hit some bricks by the pool of the hotel, which I feel horrible about now in hindsight. So still drunk, I had little control over the car. And then I just sped into the hotel I was in. So the hotel I was in was a Marriott, and I was literally 1 mile away from the Hampton Inn. So it was like, if you were, not trying to get caught, why be right beside it? Just an idiot. So just from there, I parked the car in a handicap, drunk, like just trying to get harmed. So I parked my car in a handicap, and just from there, it was the drunkest I've ever been, because I literally made myself throw up, and I kept walking in circles because I couldn't fall asleep. And then at like midnight, I heard banging on the door. I look out the peephole and see two cops. So obviously, I do not answer the door, and I'm finally able to sleep. I get up at 3 a.m. to get my wallet out of the car because I knew, um, like, I needed to grab it. I don't know why, but then I found out my car was gone. So I was acting so crazy to the night auditor at the front desk. I was like, "Where's my car?" I'm freaking out, knowing damn well I had just, skipped paying on it for 4 months, drove it into a building, really did huge damage to it, and then I parked in the handicap. So all three of these factors could have caused it being towed, but still my pride was like, "Where's my car? Where's my car?" So then a cop ended up coming in early in the morning, and we reviewed the footage together, and we watched how his colleagues took the car, and he ended up telling me, "Hey, I know what you did." And like, all the cops involved within this were like on my side. They could tell I was just a young person who did something dumb. So they were not treating me like a criminal. He did not arrest me at that moment. He knew what I did. He was like, "You're going to have to go in and answer some questions." And from him not arresting me made me know that once I went in, they were going to arrest me. So I was like, "I do not want to deal with that." So I avoided at all costs. I got a voicemail from someone saying, "We know what you did with your car, and your car is now evidence into the trial." So from there, I was freaking out. I told my mom that my car got repoed because I didn't pay it, and then I had to move in with her, which was a traumatic experience of living with her at 21. So I was very depressed, and I was never there, and I was just driving my new car that I bought, which is a horrible Volkswagen that was breaking down every day. I was driving that every day, and then I got a letter in the mail saying a warrant for my arrest. So I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my God, there's a warrant for my arrest. What the heck?" I called the number on the piece of paper, and they told me that it was on a Friday. I'll never forget. It was a Friday, and when I called, they laughed and said, "Yeah, you can come in today, but we won't be able to get to your case until Monday, so you'll be here all weekend." He was laughing, so I was like, "I'm not going in." And then I was like, "Okay, I'll come in on Monday." So I came in on Monday with my mom. She's so supportive. And if you have a warrant for your arrest, and you didn't do like a huge crime that harmed anyone, they still have to go through the motions just to adhere to their policies. So they had to arrest me and handcuff me behind my back, take me into a holding room. So the holding room is right near prison or jail bars. So I saw the jail bars. I even saw a second floor of people walking with chains on them, like people who went to jail. So I'm sitting on this little, like, I guess it was like a bar stool or whatever. And on the bar stool, I was freaking out because I'm like, "Oh my God, I could not believe I'm in here." And this one man came in, and they made him empty his pockets. He had all his money in there, and he was calling on the phone that was by me. He was calling someone. He definitely did drugs or something. But like, I was so blessed. I was only back there for like 10 minutes. I told them my story of like, um, I don't know what happened. I think I may have hit something. I'm not exactly sure. I was just lying because I knew that if you tell like completely what you did, it's like they're gonna lock you up. So I didn't. I mean, I watch a lot of murder stuff, so I know what to do. So just from there, I was in there for 10 minutes, and then I had to go sit at another table and basically have a hearing with the judge. The judge is the same guy who I met in the beginning of this when I walked into the prison or the jail place. I walked into the jail place, and he read the paper that I showed him that I got in the mail. He was like, "Well, I'm going to have to process you in just based upon this paper." So he processed me in, did the motions, but I could tell he was protecting me too because he didn't make them fingerprint me or put me behind bars or anything like that. So they made me, I think it's because of how quickly I responded too. It was like the day I got the letter, I went right in and showed myself. So I think that was like a good, kudos to me. So then, just from there, I sat in there for 10 minutes. And once I got to him, he said, I was mad at him again. I was like, wow, I have to meet with you again. You could have just did that the other way. But whatever. He was like, if you don't appear to court, you will go to jail for real. So he just gave me a notice to appear. I had a court date and I was gone. I left to my own devices. So for some reason, I left the gym, and for some reason, it was just a random day where I left the gym, and I was like, this real estate lawyer was in my area, and it was like right beside the gym, and I walked into the real estate lawyer and told him my story. He said he wasn't going to help me, but then his colleague, a female real estate lawyer, said she would do it. So these are real estate people. They're not like traffic lawyers, but like I was really lucky because she took traffic law in college, so she took my case for $200. She was like really new in the firm and just trying to get her name out there. She took my court case for $200. When I tell you, the hotel wanted $100,000 from me, and they wanted to put me in jail for 6 months. Like, that's how the details were talking. The details were detailed. I was freaking out, y'all. So just from there, she pushed the date back. She pushed the date back like 10 times. Like, I remember it was a year went on of her just emailing me through my Gmail. It was my college email. That's how fresh I was out of college. She was emailing me like, hey, I pushed the date back again. It's looking like they're not going to put you in jail. It's looking like they're just going to try to fine you. I was like, how am I going to get $100,000? That's what I was thinking. So then from there, I just remember the day came where she couldn't push it back anymore, and she was like, we have to appear in court. So it was me and my real estate lawyer in court. I come into court. I had the amount of prayer prior to, though. I want to let y'all know, prayer changes your environment. Prayer changes everything. So I was praying so hard before we went. So I was just praying. And when we got there, I went alone, obviously, I didn't see my lawyer initially. I think she came late, which is definitely scary for someone who has a huge court case, $100,000 court case, and your lawyer's late. What? But whatever. So just from there, I just remember the guy beside me, super dark-skinned guy, he was laying in his lap praying. I'm just like, this is not motivating. You're really killing my vibe. So then I look to my left, and I see the woman that was at the hotel when I hit the building. I saw her. And I was like, that is her. Even though it was a year, you remember faces. Even though I was drunk, you remember faces. So I was like, oh my God, the witness is here. I was freaking out, y'all. I was going crazy. So then just from there, they called my case, or they called a whole bunch of people's cases, and I was waiting, and my lawyer walks up to me, and I'm like, oh, hey girl, hey. And she was like, be quiet, don't say anything. You'll be called up in a few. And I was like, bet. So then she came back to me. She was like, the hotel didn't show up. Can you come outside of the courtroom with me for a moment? And I was like, yes, I can come outside of the courtroom with you for a moment. So I came outside of the courtroom with her, and it was just the most beautiful news. She was like, okay, so you're not going to be charged for hit and run. The hotel didn't show up. Over the course of the year, they filed a claim with their insurance. They want to wipe their hands with it. The witness cannot speak. When you go back in there, when you get called on, all you have to do is say yes to everything, and then you'll be free to go. So, boom. She told me they were going to charge me $200. So basically, I went up to the judge, and he went through the charge of improper equipment, which is basically like if you have a tail light out, you'll get charged. So I got charged with improper equipment, so $200 for there, and they set me free. So the amount of tears, like I was screaming. I'm like, I went from $100,000 lawsuit to $200. God is so good. And you know, back then I could barely even pay that $200, but that was the happiest I've ever had to pay that $200, because I was like, yes, God is real. Like I did a bad thing, but God was like, no, you're not ruining your life. And I'm like, if that would have went on my record, there's no way I would have been able to get the job that I've had to this day. There would have been no way that I would have been able to do a lot of things, just because your record is everything you have if you grew up poor. Okay guys, that was the end of this video. Comment below what you think of my, mistakes. I can take it. I'm aware of my weakness, and I would love to hear what you got. Give me what you got. I'm ready. And yeah, comment anything else you want to say regarding my wax melt method. Let me know if you've tried this method in the past, as well as give this video a thumbs up. As I mentioned before, it helps YouTube's algorithm. Subscribe. You can follow me on TikTok at
Sense of Vision. You can follow me on Instagram at Sense of Vision and BossVision_. So yeah, I hope y'all have the great rest of your day, your week, your next hour. Just live in your purpose and love life. Okay, bye.